reality.
China.
Pandemic. That's all we have. This is episode 351 of UFO Buster Radio, UFO news. But there's a lack of that in this episode. As a matter of fact, be forewarned. Be forewarned that more than likely there's going to be a connection issue. And you can hear there's a lot of noise in the background. It's going to be a fantastic show. One of the ones that I'll probably go back and delete, to be honest. Just hit the delete button. Air conditioning is going on. Bugs is situated right behind me. Of course, I've got my super sensitive microphone that picks up every fucking thing. And, wow, there is not a lack of noise in this room right now, besides me. Like, if you could hear that sound right now, that's Bugs. He's grooming himself. I feel like he's a cat. He's a cat in disguise. Like, he's going to town right now. I wish I could turn around and take a picture and show you guys, but it's not video. It's audio. It's like Memorex. This is number 351, of course, and welcome back. It really is hard to capture anything that has to do with the topic of this podcast because it's all about the pandemic. Yeah, the pandemic is wreaking havoc everywhere. There are no safe places. Like right now, I think Bugs is enjoying himself some COVID-19 right now off his paws because he's been outside. He gives no fucks at all. Shelter in, that's not his deal. And thank goodness, because there'd be a lot of shit all over the place. But, hey, that's the way it is. The pandemic, it's taking over the world. Everyone's concerned about it, and rightfully so. But because of that, there's very little in the form of UFO stuff. Now, of course, we have the news recent from SpaceX. We got a little bit of that going on, a little action there. We got some space news from the solar system. Things that make you go, things that we really feel in our heart of hearts. We know the folks that follow the UFO thing and follow just regular science that have more than just one left nut, they have both. There are a lot of things that people are saying now regarding our solar system. It's elementary. He's not going to stop. I mean, you guys are going to have to listen to Bugs this whole time back here in the background going to town on himself. That's what he does. Maybe that's why he gets cross-eyed a lot and that's why he's a happy guy. He might have just paused a little bit to take a breath. But the pandemic just keeps going on. There's just no way around it. And listen, it's some scary shit. No bones about it. It's some scary stuff because, 2.5 weeks ago in the United States, we were laughing at people in Australia because they lost their toilet paper, and now we ain't got any. You've got nothing. It's like maybe the aliens that came to town came to the planet and decided that we didn't need their fucking water. We don't need their gold or their minerals. We need their toilet paper. And all that toilet paper has just disappeared. It's been beamed up somewhere to some planet in some other galaxy because we ain't got any. Literally. Something's going down. But what's the conspiracy with the toilet paper? I still don't get it. I mean, you don't get the shits. I haven't seen any reports that anyone that gets the COVID-19 gets the shits. So what is the pandemic about? I have no idea. No idea. Bugs doesn't have any either, but he'll just hang out in the background. So like I said earlier, this podcast might be a little short. Thanks, Bugs. Depending on how much we can get done. Like I said, recently I moved, and so we had a bit of delay because of the pandemic in getting the internet set up. So that's why I'm showing up on a Wednesday. But got set up super duper fast internet. And for the life of God, since Tuesday, it's hit or miss. Really could not get on because the connection just keeps failing. And there's news everywhere that people are overloading the internet. Companies like YouTube and Netflix are turning down the quality of their video just to save some bandwidth. It's nuts. Sheltering in has a price. Has a steep price. We're going to get this podcast started anyway, this particular episode. Hopefully we don't crash and burn. Play a little track and then we'll come back for some news. By the way, the guys in the live chat, if you ever want to listen to this thing live, the podcast that is, you can go on Spreaker.com. That's where the live chat is at. And you've heard me in other episodes. We usually have the Grand BC, the Blue Chicken, and we have Green Man, we have Gooter, and Dave, sometimes Ronnie Dawson, Adam Baum, and a bunch of other guys come on here. But listen, they have a PSA announcement. We have to make that before we get into the news. And the thing is, if you're on the shitter and you have no TP, please don't use T-shirts or socks. But even if you do, don't flush it. If you need to wipe yourself with clothing, it's okay. It's okay. It's a pandemic. Stuff goes wrong. But don't take the clothing and try to flush it because it's just not going to work. Just don't. I mean, as a matter of fact, get your posterior covered in all your excrement and jump in the shower or something. Get in the bathtub, but don't flush your T-shirts and stuff. That causes a lot of problems. A lot. I had to laugh because I had a comment on YouTube about me using the F word and how it wasn't used in a mean or angry way. It just flowed. That comes from being born and raised in New York. Like in New York, you can drop the F-bomb in like 5 different ways. And only a couple of those are, meant with malice. The rest is like, hey, it's like saying hello. That's where I get it from. That's how I grew up. Those of you from New York, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly where I'm going with that. But others, it takes some time. It takes you some time to kind of catch up. The first article, which is really short, because again, I feel like we're going to have problems on this podcast. SpaceX parachute test failure could further delay crewed flight. There is like a string of bad luck that's happening to SpaceX right now that is unbelievable. It is the weirdest thing because I actually tweeted, or should I say the UFO bot tweeted on Twitter about the first space flight citizen, going up on the SpaceX nonsense. And, it was an exciting thing to report. People all excited about it, got retweeted like 1 billion times. But then we had this happen on the 24th. Yeah. The Crew Dragon was having another flight test. And we were testing the parachute. But it failed. And why did it fail? Apparently, the helicopter pilot was forced to drop the test vehicle really early. For some reason, he freaked out. I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody coughed in his ear and he freaked out, and it was pandemic time. So everything went to hell in a handbasket. But that forced the vehicle to drop early, so things became extremely unstable. And unfortunately, that means that it failed because the Crew Dragon did not reach the target conditions. Bada bing, bada boom. And according to SpaceX, it was we didn't reach the parabolic arc for this particular test. So since this thing got dropped early because of the pandemic, you can just every time something fucks up, just blame COVID-19. I'm sure in the back of their mind, that's what they're thinking. Yeah, and actually, shit, I'm not even lying. I'm telling you right now, this article, which is linked in the description from Engadget, actually says, and I quote, "It wouldn't be surprising if the COVID-19 pandemic complicated the situation." Huh. Well, there you go. Now, they still expect to get back on it, but officially, the demo mission for the Crew Dragon, which was supposed to be happening in May, may not happen. But, hey, we can blame everything. Come on, let's write them a check for like $5 billion from the government, and let's get a better pilot up there to drop the damn thing. It's not afraid. Maybe someone who's immune to the pandemic, and get this test done right so we can get that Crew Dragon up in space with a test dummy in it. Really, that's what they want to do, right? That's what they're aiming for in May. Get one of those, and I think there was 2 astronauts that were back in December around there that they had in some news conferences about the Crew Dragon getting back on target. Those guys that look kind of scared. Those guys, yeah. I think one of them is going to be the first test dummy to go up. And again, brave people. But hey, that's their calling. That's what they want to do. Scary as shit. because they can't seem to get none of this shit right. Like, I would hate to be the first person, the first human to actually step foot on the damn rocket. Like, I would be scared shitless. Like, you don't even need a pandemic. You don't even need there to be no toilet paper. I'm telling you, the first person that gets on the Starship, whatever fucking version it is, they're going to be shitting themselves. You'll just see the trail. Give them a pair of socks and some old t-shirts and let them get on the Starship, because it's going to be fucked up. I don't know. They've had like a lot of bad luck, to be honest. But hopefully Elon, he's one of those guys that just treads forward and really doesn't stop. So we'll see what happens. He might be able to come back. A little bit of distraction with people, trying to say, well, he actually said, he opened his big fucking mouth, talking about he's going to do respirators. Forget about that. Let's get back to space. The pandemic is everywhere. Even the man with the biggest constellation of satellites in space should not worry about the pandemic right now. He's got to focus on this whole space thing here, because the stocks are in the shitter and the company keeps fucking up. So we got to get this together. Let's get together and get back right with the way things should be for SpaceX, because eventually we got to get the fuck out of here. There was another story, since we're talking about the pandemic, and maybe this is why Elon's in a rush to get the fuck off the planet, because there's a story that Sylvia Browne, in one of her last books that was published in 2008, that apparently she predicted sometime around 2020, respiratory virus devastating the planet, disappearing, and re-emerging in 10 years. I think Elon is trying to get the fuck off the planet within that 10 years. He probably was a big fan of Sylvia Browne. I'm not going to lie. That's probably what he's trying to do. In the next 10 years, he's going to Mars. He doesn't want to be back for the pandemic. If I could, I would. If I could, I would.
Takes control of me. You make me crazier than a lunatic. Liberate, liberate. Don't look at me that way. It's a different taste. Liberate, liberation. We ain't got
Funny thing is that I think Bugs is done grooming himself. So don't hear anything. You might hear a few more snorts. Like that. From him. I swear, like when I first adopted him from the rescue agency, he was a Boston Terrier, but I think now he's a Boston Tabby.
China.
By the way, don't send me any messages that I should be saying pandemic, because it's not a pandemic. Here at UFO Buster Radio, we like to lead and call things the way the fuck they are. So it's a pandemic. Pandemic. See what I mean? Let me have my flow. It's a pandemic. Damn it. The next article is from the Express UK, one of our favorite places to look at UFO stuff. Alien life shock. Smoking gun study suggests Mercury once had ingredients for life. This is the article where I kind of sit back. Let me just get into this whole thing here real quick. And I'm not really there's a lot of information in this article. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to do all of it because there's a lot, but the link is in the description. You could check it out. There's a lot of science talk in here regarding what their recent finding is, because for the longest time, we thought Pluto was a planet. And for the longest time, we thought Mercury was the hottest place in the solar system. Nothing lived there and nothing could live there ever. But all of a sudden, that's not the case, right? Now, Pluto's not a fucking planet anymore. And apparently, Mercury, there was life there at one time. Or at least there was the ingredients, the things needed to sustain life. Now, the researchers apparently got this data from some images that the NASA, get this, the Mercury Surface Space Environment Geochemistry and Ranging spacecraft delivered to them. So they came across all these things, and I actually had to look this up because I was like, fuck, I'm turning this into a science lesson. There is a lot of cracks in the terrain. So if you look at a lot of pictures from the spacecrafts that they've been able to land, not just NASA, but other countries as well, the terrain is really crazy. It's chaotic. It's cracked. It looks horrific. It looks like a lot of shit went down. A lot of folks early on thought, oh, there's earthquakes. Seismic activity is fucking up Mercury, but that's probably because it's a horrible place and it's too damn hot. It turns out that maybe that wasn't the case, that these cracks and things like that and craters and all these things really came from a lot of the impacts that Mercury had. And actually, if you look at the picture that's for the logo for this particular episode, that is a picture of Mercury. And you can see one of the impacts there on the lower part of the planet. But all in all, that's a pretty looking planet. That is some nice colors of Mercury for sure. What they found from the data from what the acronym spell out to be MESSENGER, that was the craft that had all the data from Mercury, was basically that that terrain actually helped to form what they call volatiles. And I was like, what the fuck are volatiles? What are you talking about, volatiles? Volatiles usually are not good things. Well, here's a little bit of a science lesson for you. Please bear with me. Thanks, Bugs. Because I do have to share this. In planetary science, volatiles are a group of chemical elements and chemical compounds with low boiling points. Yeah, so they don't need like 1,000 degrees, 1,000 Fahrenheit just to boil. And these things are usually associated with planets or moons and their crusts or atmospheres. Now here's an example of volatiles, and this is going to be very familiar for most of you. who follow news from Mars. Example of volatiles are nitrogen, water, carbon dioxide, ammonia, hydrogen, methane, and sulfur dioxide. Well, geez. Aren't these some of the things that they're finding on Mars? So, it turns out that a lot of times when these are in large volume, as we see on planet Earth, as they're starting to realize on Mars and some of those moons that seem to have a lot of water, liquid water, maybe some oceans on them. But they noticed that this particular messenger brought back evidence that at one point our hot little Mercury might have this almost in abundance, to the point where there could have been life there at a particular time. Now, I know that growing up, we kind of learned that the solar system is slowly moving closer to the sun. At the same time, the sun itself is expanding. There's a bunch of stuff. In other words, in a few billion years, there's going to be no solar system, basically. Or at least Mercury is going to just be swallowed up by the sun. Either way, the idea was that a lot of the planets were a bit further out than what they are today. Maybe several kabillion years ago, whatever the fuck it is. But I would think that as much evidence as we see now from science and folks that are studying the chemical compounds and elements that are being found on not just our solar system, but the rubber dickers who look billions of years into the past, can still recognize that those same chemicals were around basically hundreds of billions of years ago in another part of the universe, that we are not here by accident, and we are not the only species, sentient species or animals or whatever the fuck you want to call us, on a planet that's habitable. If we could actually really have a good understanding of time, I think time is what's confusing everyone. Because it's hard to tell someone that maybe a few billion years ago there was something living on Mercury. Because we just don't see that far. You especially can't tell them now with the pandemic going on. But the article goes into all of that. It talks about the volatiles that they found and the fact that it looks like there might have been an initial development of these volatiles only 1.8 billion years ago. You know, because in science, 1.8 billion years, that's a hop skip away. That was somebody's birthday a couple years ago. Just go ahead and ask anyone with a pocket protector. They'll tell you. But a fantastic story either way. There is a lot more to it. There's a lot more to the science. If you guys are the geeky types who want to look at this, but just keep in mind, I don't think anyone should ever be surprised that we find things like volatiles or evidence of life on a dwarf planet or anywhere that normally we have seen in the past, and we were told as children growing up, elementary school, grade school, and secondary school, that these places were dead. Because the more we study, the more we find out that's not the case. There's more to them, things that we just don't recognize. Probably because we're always stuck in the same mode. We, for a long time, just did not think outside the box, and we're having to do it now because space exploration is it's on our heels. So we need to grow up before we go out.
What you
There's a fascinating study going out on in the UK, and there was some data that was published today about the pandemic. The pandemic, of course, dealing with COVID-19. There's a theory going on that possibly millions upon millions of people have been infected by the pandemic. And so basically what's going on is they're all asymptomatic. They don't show any symptoms. They're not getting fevers. They're not having labored breathing. But they are essentially somewhat immune to it. So they're not impacted. So what they're saying is because people who are asymptomatic are not being tested, there is a situation where we are kind of rubber dicking ourselves, right, by not testing everyone, because there are people who are asymptomatic who are spreading this shit around. And that potentially there are millions and millions upon millions of citizens in the UK who are really spreading it. And that's why the shelter-in BS is critical to this, because there could be carrier monkeys by the millions and no one knows who the fuck they are. So that's really fucked up. It's a really fucked up situation with the pandemic, for sure. Now, to be honest, I can't believe I'm still here. I'm still on, because I really thought we were going to end up getting disconnected on this episode. And a real miracle is that Bugs has not farted not once. He's literally right behind me. Like if I roll my chair back, I'm going to leave some tread marks on him. But not once has he farted, because he did fart earlier when I was getting ready. And it was horrific. Like I was ready to jump into a vat of COVID-19 after that. I couldn't do it. It was so bad. And you know, when something lets out a really good fart, when it goes into your nostrils, it's like so thick, and you just can't escape, not one bit. This story is out of the BBC.com. Rendlesham Forest. Yeah, I just had to take a pause. I don't know. I just don't know. The title from this BBC article is Rendlesham Forest UFO sighting becomes legend like King Arthur. I don't know. I feel like they're both fake news. I'm sorry, guys in the UK. What the hell is going on? You know, the pandemic is global. So should UFO rankings. Let's rank all the UFOs, stories, incidents, whatever the fuck they are. Let's rank them from 1 to 1 million. I don't think Rendlesham really is going to be that high at the end of the day. I don't think it is. Sadly, I don't. Rendlesham Forest does absolutely nothing for me. But let's talk about what this article has here. There is a film that's going to be coming out shortly. The film Codename Rendlesham basically looks at the reports from U.S. airmen and who claim to have seen a UFO in Rendlesham Forest, Suffolk, December 1980. Suffolk? I don't know. I kind of had like a mid-accent in there. Now, of course, there's a lot of conspiracy theories regarding what really happened. Was it the lighthouse? Were they all high? Was this some kind of Russian spacecraft that came down and then took off again? Like that was back in 1980. Did they really have that capability in Russia? I don't know. I can't say anything more because Putin doesn't like people talking about him. Academic David Clarke said researchers were at an impasse, and the longer it goes on, the more it becomes a legend. What he's talking about is it's getting hard for them to prove or disprove what happened at Rendlesham. December 26, 1980, several U.S. Air Force security personnel stationed at Woodbridge reported that they investigated lights in a surrounding forest. In 1983, a memo by Deputy Base Commander Lt Col Charles Halt, which those of you who watch UFO shows, you know that mug, for real. You know what he looks like. You know who he is. The memo was released by the U.S. government describing an encounter with an apparent UFO. There he is. He's snorting already in the background. So it made headlines everywhere, right? The UK went into this whole madness thing with Rendlesham. Everybody loves Rendlesham in the UK. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. It's great. Rendlesham pretty much got theoried up. All kinds of theories. All kinds of books, documentaries, websites. People thinking it was real visitation. People thinking that they were there regarding nuclear warheads. The aliens were there to shut them bitches down. Secret military aircraft. Natural lights coming through the forest from the nearby lighthouse. Or plain and simple, these guys just got together and tried to pull a hoax because they were bored as fuck. Not really sure. There's an academic researcher by the name of David Clarke of Sheffield Hallam University, and he said this in the film itself. Now, it may have been a lighthouse, it may have been some natural phenomena. That is beside the point. We have reached an impasse. There are those who can only see in the black and white terms aliens or people from the future came here. Or it's the skeptical version that people are lying and they have been misled by ordinary things. The more it is elaborated on, the more it becomes a legend. Not sure I agree with that. I could probably listen. There's been so many cases that have come out and happened since 1980. And a lot of them really gave you more bang for your buck. More witnesses, more people, whole cities and towns. I can understand locally for the UK, this might be it. This might be the one that they're going to hold on to until they get their own tic tac. But I'm sure if we dig really deep, and we turn away from the whole military presence regarding Rendlesham, and the fact that there was a while there where the stories were just not jiving in between the folks that were involved in this, then I think we can say that holding this as a legend is not such a good idea. I don't think Rendlesham was all that, sadly enough. If we take the Phoenix incident over in Phoenix, Arizona, I think that is a much more legendary type of incident than I would ever look at Rendlesham as being. Maybe it's a whole US-UK thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't understand. Green Man here says it was at Roswell. It is the UK's version of Roswell. But even then, it happened in 1980. Roswell was back in the 40s. Come on, give me a break. There's nothing legendary about it. That's all I'm saying. I just can't. I just can't do it. Some of these UFO cases from back in the day, people, they hold them to heart because they've researched them. They've come to know the folks that are involved in it. So it kind of holds a place in their hearts, I guess. It's like the classic UFO stories. You know what it is. You actually went on, you researched it. You probably went and visited Rendlesham at one point, or had a family member that was stationed at the base. So it becomes something personal for you. So I can see where folks in the UK really gravitate to Rendlesham, but no fucks are given. It's just not my deal. Anybody in the chat box live, do you think that Rendlesham really was that big of a deal? I just don't see it. I don't think that Rendlesham was it. The article is in here that, of course, they talk a lot more about Rendlesham itself and the incident and the folks that were involved. But what people are saying, a lot of folks, is that, number one, some of the witnesses have changed their stories. There are new tidbits that come out all the time, just like Roswell, because it helps getting the convention going year by year. And a lot of people are saying that what's happening with Rendlesham is the creation of a modern myth. And myths like Bigfoot and no dies, that shit just doesn't die. It just keeps on going and going. Like Roswell too, to be honest. I'm not a fan of either, to be honest. Rendlesham or Roswell. These are old UFO incidents that they take up too much time, as far as I'm concerned. We need to move to the modern stuff, the things we see now. Gravitate towards those. Let's make those legends by researching the fuck out of them before we hit the 30 fucking year mark. That's just my personal opinion. I'll go back to the folks in the chat box in a bit after this track, and we'll find out what they think. Is Rendlesham a legendary UFO incident? Or is it just a wannabe?
All the way
All right, so the votes are in the live chat. So let's go one by one. Green Man says agree Phoenix was bigger. Of course, he also said that this is a big one for the UK as far as Rendlesham. I know I'm going to catch a lot of shit from folks after the podcast is recorded and distributed. I know I am. People are going to talk shit because that's what they do. But he did say, Green Man did say there are other more recent events of mass sightings over London. And again, this is their Roswell. Gooter says it was okay. Yeah, it was all right. O'Hare Airport UFO, much cooler than Rendlesham. Yeah, I can see that. Gooter said he interviewed the first two guys to report the UFO over O'Hare. And also Phoenix was big. It was huge. Wasn't it? It was kind of huge.
China.
Not China. Phoenix. Dave showed up. Hey, welcome on the show, Dave. Dave says, I don't even know. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. I got in here late. I don't know. But he'll chime in later, I'm sure. But so there you go. Yeah, I'm going to catch a lot of shit. I just know it. Regarding the talking crap about Rendlesham. Now, Green Man, I think it was Green Man that said that it does rank up there. I believe it does. I believe it does because there was this whole situation regarding the military, and they always build it up. You know, it's weird because it always starts out. The Rendlesham story always starts out with other reports of UFOs going to missile bases, nuclear missile bases, and trying to deactivate the missiles. And then they go, but then in Rendlesham, you know, it's like, come on, stop it. We're blowing this out of proportion. It's not that big. The Cold War is over. Kinda. Not entirely, but kinda. Might be, you know, getting back into business, though. But I would say, listen, would it be in my top 10? No. Maybe 20 or 30. Bugs is going to town again. But no, I wouldn't put Rendlesham as a legend. But like I said, I'm in the U.S., and the UK, this is your baby. If you want to put it at number one, hop to it. I love it. No fucks are given there either. So don't give me no hate mail. I'm not the one voting. I'm not a citizen of the UK, so I'm not voting for this. As a matter of fact, voted no confidence for anyone who thought this up. That's all I'm saying. That is, those are the stories for today. That is it. We actually made it. Bugs was making a lot of noise in the background, but that's the episode. Thursday Night Freakout should be on, hopefully. Thankfully. The Pandemic will be around for sure. Now, wait a minute, before I get off. Gooter, thanks, Bugs, bless you. He's got the Pandemic, I'm sure. Gooter said something fascinating in here. Was the Pandemic preparing us for aliens? Good question. It's always about aliens. What if? You know, the funny thing, and I'm going to just put this out there because that's the kind of show we run here. When they were talking about the city that
China
that this came from, right? I was thinking, wow, what if they? Because you know we have the whole bioweapon thing. People are talking about maybe they had some kind of a bioweapon that got loose and just fucked everyone over. What if they discovered something? What if they discovered? I mean, if we want to put it to aliens, what if it was a crashed, buried ship that they dug up, they opened it, and there goes the Pandemic all over the place? I mean, it could happen, right? Happened to the American Indians, Native Indians, happened to them. Some ship comes up ashore, and it brings all the fucking illness, their own pandemic. You just never know. You just never know. All right, I'm checking out before I say too much and get the hateration. But it is Pandemic. Use Pandemic. Hashtag Pandemic. Make it. Love it. Live it. Ciao.